Episode 468, How I'm Building Websites and MVPs with AI.
The AI6 Podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Before generative AI, building a new website or landing page usually meant translating an idea through a designer, a developer, and then a series of back and forth of questions, fixes, and clarifications. Now I actually vibe code what I want in terms of features and functionality, look and feel, and copy before it goes to my tech team. Hello, and you're very welcome back to the AI6 special series, How I'm Building with AI. In this series, I'm sharing the systems, products, and workflows I'm building with artificial intelligence, and then the decisions, the iterations, and the lessons behind them. If you're a fellow marketer, you understand that designing a brief for your website or app involved explaining the purpose, core features, providing the copy, responding to a design draft, and then trying to close the gap between what I could see in my head and what has been interpreted through the brief. That process obviously produces excellent work, especially when you're working with a talented team. But every translation creates a possibility that something gets lost. The business owner understands the ambition, the audience, and why the product needs to exist. A designer interprets the visual direction. A developer interprets the functionality. And every handover can create distance between the original idea and the finished result, and leading to frustration and time delays. When I built the landing page for govcoms.ai, I worked differently. I used Lovable to create an early working version through what people now call vibe coding. In simple terms, that means describing what I want in natural language, seeing a tangible result quickly, and then improving it through repeated iteration. I am vibe coding with the Lovable AI assistant to improve on the original draft. I always voice what I want. As a former broadcast journalist and now a podcaster, I love the medium of voice. And for me, it allows me to turn my natural stream of consciousness, my ideas, my expertise into something that is a really strong brief. And of course, it's also quicker than writing. So when I get the first draft, I review the copy, I update it in real time, I refine the structure, I think of new functionality that we could add, and we just keep iterating and adjusting there and then. And the assistant is working and coding right in front of me, and I see my suggested improvements in almost real time. It's quite remarkable when you experience this for the first time, and I absolutely love vibe coding with my students, especially if they're experiencing it for the first time. And I think vibe coding is the point where people begin to realize the capability of artificial intelligence, and it takes them out of interacting with a chatbot for every task. The other useful thing about vibe coding is that I don't need to get the technical specification right in the first instance. That comes later. I really want to be clear on the user experience, the visual, the interactions, the functions, the features, and the copy. And so I will test it at length myself before I'll even then hand it over to my tech team. So it doesn't mean that Lovable is the finished product or the finished page or the finished website, but it is a really strong draft. Now, what I should point is you absolutely can get a landing page or a website live from Lovable. It's really easy. You go into settings, you go into domain, you log into your own hosting account, you connect the relevant domain, and voila, within 24 hours, the DNS settings are repointed and your creation is live. And so the technical understanding has definitely been reduced as a barrier, but I absolutely have designers, web developers, AI developers on my team, and I lean heavily on them because also I want to learn and I want to understand. And so it's still a collaboration, but what I would say, the capacity to ideate and deliver has massively increased in my business, and I do it for myself. You know, that's my approach. Everything that I teach, I actually practice myself, do it for my own business before I even go and do it with clients. So if you have an idea to create a landing page, to create an app, to create an interactive dashboard to refresh your website, go ahead and try out Lovable. There are other tools, of course. There is Cursor, there's Base44, lots of others. Just go to ChatGPT and ask for a series of vibe coding tools. And I just want to say before I wrap up this episode, I don't think that designers and developers are obsolete anymore. In fact, I work with them, as you know, and they would agree that the briefs are now stronger and the decisiveness by the business owner, that person that is directing the brief, is much clearer. But those skills are absolutely essential, and I really value those skills in my business. So instead of arriving with a vague idea and a long brief and weeks of back and forth, why not vibe code your next development idea? Happy vibe coding. And if you've produced something that you really love and you're really proud of, why don't you come on and join me for a long listen episode? Send me a DM on LinkedIn or send me an email to joanne@digitaltraining.ie. That's it for today's show. If you're ready to turn these insights into skills, here's how I can help. Get your copy of my book, AI Playbook, on Amazon. It's the perfect companion to the show. For weekly AI strategy, subscribe to my newsletter, Human in the Loop, on LinkedIn. Or if you want to take the next big step, you can take our CPD accredited professional diploma in AI. Maybe you need something more tailored for your organisation. You can book a call in my calendar at digitaltraining.ie. Or if you work in government or public sector, go over to publicsectormarketingpros.com. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a pro that you know. And I'd love to read your comments on Spotify. And if you can, take a second to like, rate, or subscribe wherever you listen. It really helps the show. This is AI6. I'll talk to you on the next episode.